Welcome to Adventure Freaks, a podcast on living abroad on a budget. All right, today we are heading over to Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur, and my new friend, Rana Altounjy, is with us today. Rana, thanks so much for doing the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me to be part of this experience actually, and to share about the country which I'm living there.
Yeah, appreciate it. So Rana is a really a bright lady. She's a doctor of finance and accounting. She has her PhD, and she's a professor at, is it Manipal International University? Manipal?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
Yeah, and now she lives in Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital, right, of Malaysia.
That's correct. Yep.
And it's well known for some of the tallest. It used to have the tallest buildings in the world, and now
we have the second tallest building in the world, which is Merdeka 118.
Yeah, it's the second tallest. And I think Dubai, I was looking that up. I think Dubai has the tallest now.
Yeah.
And
now,
UAE.
Now, yeah, they have the tallest one. That's right, the UAE one.
There's so much competition, but the skyline must be just amazing over there.
Yeah. Actually, Malaysia is nowadays very known with its very tall buildings, and in some places you can see the skyline of KL, where you can see the Twin Tower, which is the most famous buildings here in KL.
Yeah.
Then you can see the Merdeka 118, which is the second tallest building in the world.
Yeah.
And the Menara KL. So those are making very nice skyline in the KL.
Yeah. That's great. So tell us a little bit about your journey. I think it's impressive. You come from Syria, and you worked your way through universities to obtain a PhD, which to me is incredibly impressive. And now you're a professor. And so tell us a little bit about that journey and how you got involved in accounting, finance from Syria, and finding your way to Malaysia.
Actually, my journey started in 2012, mid of 2012, when the conflict started in the country, in Syria, back. And then I decided to leave and find somewhere to go. And Malaysia was one of my choices because at that time, with a country with a conflict, when you want to travel somewhere else, you want to find an easiest way to go without the visa issues and so on. So Malaysia, one of those countries which allow us to enter. I applied to university for a PhD. Then after I came in 2013. It was almost January 2013. It was Chinese New Year here. Later, I will tell you about here. We have a lot of celebrations. I changed my university after that. Then I finished my PhD with 2019. Yes, it's 6 years, but actually not all of it was PhD. I was working also as a tutor. I get Modern Scholarship to continue my PhD. Then in 2019, I finished. Then for my good luck, I find a job directly to be as a university professor at Manipal International University. Somehow the journey was not that much easy, especially moving from Middle East to come to Southeast Asia with totally different culture, with totally different things. But I could say that it took with me almost only a few months to love this country as I'm feeling as home,
Yeah. Okay. So my next question for you, Rana, is that did you start any of your schooling and university while you were in Syria?
Yes, when I was in Syria, I get my bachelor and master degree over there.
Okay.
And I was working because I'm somehow continuing the profession of my father as a financial consultant. Okay. So I was working there in our office. Then just due to the conflict, I just decided to leave the country and find somewhere else to continue.
Gotcha. So you did your full PhD work in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's terrific. All right. So let's get into, so when you first arrived, what was your impression of Malaysia, and what were the visa requirements, the process to move through that?
Okay, when I first arrived was 2013. If you want to talk about the impression, for me, it was totally new thing. People here, like as I said, they speak English, but it's in their accent, you know. So
Yeah.
I learned English in Syria, which was in British Council. So I was learning the UK accent. Then I came here, they're using their own accent. So at the first, it was difficult for me to cope and understand the sentences.
Hmm.
But which I liked. The time I arrived, it was the Chinese New Year here. So everywhere was decorated with red color. Made me like feeling, oh wow, it's a very nice place. Even first day I arrived, I visited Twin Tower. So for me, as coming from Middle East, like especially my country, we don't have that very tall buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So to see this like Twin Towers was, wow, I'm really coming for the best place ever, you know. So this was the first impression. If you want to talk about the visa, actually since that time to now, things totally change.
Mm-hmm.
That time, if you want to come as a student, you can just book your flight ticket. You have your admission, acceptance from university. Book
Mm-hmm.
your flight ticket and just come. Then they will do that process. But nowadays, things changed. For student visa, you need to process with EMGS first. This is one institution they make it to manage student visa.
What is that
And then
institution again?
called EMGS.
EMGS. Okay.
Yeah, actually mostly the university will follow up everything with that institution which belong to government. Then they're gonna to send you kind of like we call it VAL, VAL. This is called VAL letter.
Okay.
Then you need to take it to the nearest Malaysian embassy to you. Then they're gonna to give you a 1 month single entry visa. After you arrive to Malaysia, the representative of your education institution will take you from the airport. Then they will follow up the visa. If you want to talk about that work visa, in case you are coming to work, so again, same, you need to go through the work employment, and we call it EP, employment pass, and it depends on what field you want to work. So if you are working in any field excluding the IT and international organizations, so you're going to go to ESD. This is also another name called ESD. They're going to follow your visa.
And that's for the work visa.
Yeah, this is for work permit, excluding for the ITP.
Okay.
And unfortunately, nowadays, it's I would not say impossible, but it's kind of very difficult because since the pandemic started, so the government here, they moved to give more chances to local, to give them do they find a job, okay? So I add a lot of other requirements to allow any company to hire expat. Okay. So if the company go through the process, if they they could get the approvals, which is not easy. After that, it reaches to you as an expat. You need to go to also nearest Malaysian embassy and get your 1 month visa. Yeah. Then you enter, then you will get your visa through the immigration.
Yeah, that's what leads me to this next question is, in your opinion, is there a lot of opportunities and work for people that say, I want to go move to Malaysia and I just want to give it a try? Like, for example, there's a lot of people that go to China, they go to Korea, they go to Thailand, and they teach English. There's a lot of ESL teaching and a lot of jobs in those areas. Does Malaysia offer something similar to people?
Okay, so if you want, it's about teaching English, because this profession is not for local people because it's not their mother tongue. So yes, you have a lot of chance to do. But if, let's say, another type of job, let's say, example, my job as lecturer or professor in finance and accounting. So this is very possible for Malaysian to do, because actually they have high rate of PhD holders. So here, the chances for expat is very less. Okay. Yeah. So it depends on the profession.
So you're really in a unique situation to be offered a professorship.
I can say somehow yes, but the good luck of me that I started before the pandemic. If I started,
You went out again. I let you, right? We lost
yeah.
you right after you said I started.
Uh,
Okay,
so
go ahead.
now the voice okay?
It went out. The sound went out again. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I've
Maybe
never
it's
had that.
working. So
Yeah.
as I told you, that my good luck that it started before the pandemic,
Yes.
because if it was after this, it was kind of impossible.
Okay. So it became
Yeah.
a little bit more challenging
Yeah.
for people. Okay. All right. So now moving there, you had to find a place to live. So
That's right.
how affordable is housing? And give us an idea what the breakdown is. And like if somebody were to rent a
Mhm.
flat with a view of those amazing towers, or
Mhm.
like in a really cool neighborhood, or in what's affordable too, and what neighborhoods would it be affordable?
Okay, let me tell you something. The good about Malaysia or about Kuala Lumpur, let's say, that choices are very wide. So it depends on your budget.
Okay.
You can start with renting only a room in a flat, which is also available. A lot of people, they do actually, especially those who are living alone and they are not interested to be alone the whole time.
Hmm.
So they're gonna to rent a room, and renting a room can start if you want to get in a master bedroom, which is with attached toilet. So you may go with 250 USD,
Okay.
okay, which
All
is
right.
in the middle of the city. Like it's very accessible by all public transport.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, here almost 95% of high-rise buildings, they have the facilities available like swimming pools, gym, and some like small gardens and playground for kids. So it's available almost 95% of the condos, okay?
Yeah. Nice.
If you want to stay here, okay, you have higher budget or you are interested to be in your own flat and you would like to be in somehow we can say more high quality condominiums. So you may start, okay, example, my unit, it's one bedroom, but is a big size, which is almost 950 square foot.
Okay.
So rent is almost 600 USD
Okay.
per
Wow.
month, yes. Yeah. Which
That's
is I already shared with you last time the photo of the view. I like almost this condo has the best view of the KL skyline.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and by
So
the way, here all the condos they have the security. Security is very high here. Like if you want to enter any place, you want to visit anyone, you need to register to the security. Then they allow the person who are you going to visit. They will let them know. They sometimes they need to come down to pick you up because you are not allowed to enter unless you are escorted by the person who you're gonna to visit. So
mhm.
this is also available in most of the buildings here.
Okay. So in your building, do you have like a pool and in a
Yeah,
facility where you can work? Yeah.
actually, somehow my building has two swimming pools, one in level 5, where the kids swimming pool also there, and it's very big one, and second one in level 34, which is the best view to KL for KL also, with two gyms, one because our area is 4 buildings actually, because our
Mhm.
condominium is 4 buildings. So each 2 buildings, they share 2 swimming pools and 1 gym.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
really have a nice place. Is it possible for you to show us the skyline? Could you take the
Actually,
camera or no?
yeah, now I'm in office. Unfortunately, I'm not
Oh,
at
because you're
home.
at
But
your
I
office.
will
That's
send,
right.
yeah, you may show them the photo which I sent to you, or maybe later I send you another photo.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
just,
Send me those. Yeah, send me the photos, and we'll definitely put them at the throughout
yeah,
the
for sure.
podcast. All
Yeah,
right,
for
cool.
sure.
So you're pay so a good sized apartment. That's a very nice, spacious apartment, 900 square feet. That's very nice. Do they include utilities, or do you have to pay utilities as well?
Utilities will be paid separate, actually.
It is. So how much are utilities like electric and water, Wi-Fi? If you combine it all in a month, how much would you think you'd pay?
If I combine all in a month, it will be almost 150 US dollar.
Okay. So about
Yeah.
another $150. So the cost of living over there in a nice spacious place is really $750.
Almost, yes.
And,
Almost, yeah.
and if you had a roommate or you're married, it's very, very affordable.
Yeah, if it's a couple, so it will be like so cheap because both are sharing this amount. But yeah, and actually, as you said, the size of the home is very big, so it's for a couple. It's considered more than enough, even.
Yeah. Okay, great. So how is the affordability of food when you go grocery shop, and how much for you do you spend, would you say, a month on groceries?
Okay, for food, also here it depends from where you want to buy the food, or let's say if you go about grocery, okay? So
Mhm,
grocery is available in very cheap rate if you know where to buy.
mhm,
Here you need to look always where Malaysian people buy their grocery. So you're gonna find very fresh ones and very cheap rate.
mhm,
But if you want to go to where expat normally they go, like in very fancy shopping malls, so
mhm.
there you will find it is very expensive, and
Sure.
it's actually sometimes you will not take it that much fresh.
Mhm.
So here we have in Malaysia what we call it wet market.
Okay.
That one you will find in most of the places, even I'm living in the middle of the city, it's almost like 700 meters between tower.
Mhm.
But nearby me, there is one area called Kampung Baru. It's very old place. So there you're gonna see
How do you spell that, Rana?
it's Kampung,
And G.
Kampung, space then Baru, Baru.
Baru, Baru.
Yeah. This
Kampung.
is as kind of like the old city of KL before they built those buildings. So
Mhm,
there you're gonna find what we call it wet market, which is very famous here in KL or even entire Malaysia. If you go early morning over there, you're gonna to get the fresh chicken, fresh meat, fresh fruits, veggies, everything very fresh and very affordable price.
And they call it wet market, like
The wet
WET,
market.
like
Wet.
like you're wet with water.
Yeah, like you're wet. Yeah, we call
Wet
it wet
market.
market.
Okay. Got to check out the wet market.
Yeah, and in
That's
some other places or other specific days, you're gonna find what we call it night market, where those like people who are coming like from nearby areas, they're gonna to open small kiosks, sell food, sell fishes, sell clothes, and all of these things. It will be available in the night market, but normally night market it's in specific days. Like in my area, it will be on Friday night.
on Friday nights. Okay. That's great. That's interesting. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're gonna see all local things,
Yeah.
which is you are not gonna to see it in very fancy supermarket or very fancy shopping malls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's terrific. All right. So tell me, how do you get around there? What do you do to get around? How do you get to work? Do you take the bus, or do you drive, or do you have a scooter?
Mhm. Okay, for me, as I'm working somehow far from the place where I stay, almost 47 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I drive. Yeah, I'm working in totally different states. So I drive there, and it's 47 kilometers, but it takes almost 40 or 45 minutes to reach
Okay.
because I'm opposite of the jam in the morning. But in general, about KL, we can say, actually, by the way, KL is Kuala Lumpur, but it's not at KL, okay?
KL, yeah. Yeah.
They are very famous to use the short words.
Yeah, the KL, I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, actually, they have we can say very nice public transport. We have a lot of lines and almost they serve everywhere. And even like a month ago, they introduced new stations to connect areas. Now they are connecting the Putrajaya, which we can call it the governmental capital, because actually capital of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur, but they have a state called Putrajaya where all the government offices are over there, the ministries and these things, they are over there in Putrajaya.
How do you
So
spell that? How do you spell that?
it's PU
PU?
TRA
Putra?
Jaya, Jaya, Putrajaya.
Putrajaya. Okay.
Yeah. So there, all the ministries are located in that area. So to make the life easy for people if they want to go to have any like official documents or whatever, so they opened new stations to connect the middle of capital city like to that place, and they offer a month free of all the public transportation to celebrate that.
Nice.
And to help people to cope with the new increasing in the life cost, you know.
Yeah.
So when we want to talk about public transport in KL, it's very good because a lot of lines we have LRT, MRT, and monorail and KTM. Those 4 different lines connecting almost everywhere in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. Because if you see the map of Malaysia, you're gonna see there's 2 states, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. They are connected. You cannot, even sometimes you move from one road to another road, you are between 2 states. So those 2 are connected together, KL and Selangor.
Okay. And that's all metro connected. What are the costs to go from one location to another?
It depends on how far it is. Sometimes maybe less than $1 you can go. And the good things here, they offer kind of package in almost $15 you can 15, okay? You can get a card. You can use public transport for a whole month.
For a whole month for $15.
Well, yeah, 15 bucks, that's correct. And especially if you are a student, even you can get cheaper rate. So this is they do also to make it very affordable for people. And they are trying to encourage more people that please park your car in the train parking and use it to reduce the usage of the cars inside the city and pollution and traffic and all of this.
Yeah. So where do you park your car? Do you have parking included in your?
Yes. Yeah, here there is no outside parking. We don't use. Almost all the houses, they come with a car park. So it depends on how many rooms. If your unit is 1 bedroom, so it will be 1 car park for free. If it's more, it's going to increase the number of car park.
I see. Okay. So okay, so let's talk about healthcare. So everybody's always interested in knowing about what do they have a national healthcare in Malaysia, or is it through based on where you work?
Okay, normally it depends on the insurance. You will take it from your company because here most of the companies they're gonna to do insurance for their staff, which is almost compulsory, like for local and international need to do. Yeah, almost like this. For local people, I'm not sure whether they have something else for their own, like the Malaysian. But for us as international, we need to rely on the insurance provided to us. And here, based on the rules, you are not allowed to have any visa unless if you have insurance.
Oh, did you have to bring insurance with you?
And no, it's not with you. When you come, like as a tourist, or when you come with a call visa first, you don't need to have anything. But to have your long-term visa, like the 1 year, 2 year, or your work permit, you should have insurance. So normally companies, they do like contract with insurance companies, and they provide for all their staff one shot.
So they give you some, so you got to show proof of insurance.
Yes.
Okay. And so is it costly? I mean, let's say if somebody wasn't working, do you know if they're covered? If people aren't working, do you have any idea if they're covered?
Okay, if they are not working, okay, let me tell you, here as international or as an expat, you have no choice to stay legally unless if you are attached to a company or you are using another scheme of stay. It's not about just I'm coming here and staying and managing my life. Otherwise, it'll be illegal stay.
Okay.
So either you are expat in a company, or you are student, or you are spouse visa, like you are like married to local or married to an expat, or you have like here they have kind of scheme called Malaysia Second Home for expat. So this you need to buy a house and another stories, like it. To get that type of stay. So
Yeah.
only those choices. Otherwise, you will be illegal stay.
Gotcha. Well, I
Yeah.
wonder what people that retire in Malaysia do, that aren't working, they just go and retire.
Yeah, so if you are here, as I mentioned, they create for them a scheme. We call it Malaysia Second Home.
Okay.
Here they need to pay. They need to almost buy a house here. Actually, to start that process, they need to be contacted with a lawyer. This is the most important because lawyer the one who know how to manage the things.
Yeah.
They put almost amount of, let's say, 100,000 USD or even more. I'm not sure about the amount actually. Then after that, they need to buy a house here. So based on that process, they need to show a proof on income, like if they are under like retire, so their retirement salary and so on.
Mhm.
And then they can get a visa of 10 years.
I see.
But yeah, using that visa, they are not allowed to work anywhere unless if they open their own business, then they can start it and start like to have their own business. But let's say you are now retired and you decided to work as an employment pass, you will not be given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that leads me to a question I didn't ask earlier. So is real estate affordable there? Is buying flats or a
Okay.
home?
Also for foreigners, they have specific rate. They are not allowed to buy less than that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in a specific state, let's say in Kuala Lumpur, it's 750,000 ringgit, which is almost 200 US dollar, 200,000 US dollar minimum.
Okay.
For Kuala Lumpur, if you go to Selangor, which is the nearby state, you're gonna to be higher. So this is the minimum amount you can buy a house over there, okay, as a
Wow.
foreigner. Yeah, if you go for locals, it's very affordable because they're gonna get a lot of support. But as we are talking about expat, you are not allowed to buy less than that.
Wow. That's interesting.
This is the rule.
Yeah, that's interesting. So there's probably not a lot of expats moving in there to buy properties.
Yeah, here they are more looking for those expat, if let's say those retiree people who they really can afford a high cost of life. Okay,
Sure.
while actually the cost of life here is not high, but they are concerning if we want to get an retiree people here. So let's choose those who have like good income and they really can have a good life here.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then now we're on to entertainment. So what do people do for fun in Malaysia?
Malaysia is maybe the country of entertainment because whatever you love, you can have. Let's start with if you like to go to park. So parks with very nice lakes available everywhere. As I told you, like my house is in the middle of the city, but it's just almost like less than 10 minutes walking. I'm going to reach to a very nice big park with very nice lake inside it. We call it Titi Wangsa. It's very known area and here in Kuala Lumpur. Even if you go to the Twin Towers itself is attached with very nice park.
Yeah.
So your entertainment, if you have kids, you like to take them to parks, so it's available everywhere in KL. Okay.
Mhm.
If you are into going to islands, let's say, so islands and seaside also available, and they have very known islands here in Malaysia. Let's say they have the Langkawi Island, they have Penang, Perhentian, Redang. It's countless number of islands, which all of them they have very nice beaches.
Yeah.
Seaside is very nearby, even the city, less than 45 minutes driving. You can go to the seaside.
Let me pull up a map real quick here. And let me
Yeah.
go, yeah, because that's something that I didn't do in the beginning, but the islands that you mentioned.
Mhm.
So it's like
when
such a great location because you are around just a lot of beauty and a lot of beautiful
yeah.
beaches and islands. So the islands that you're referring to are where?
If you look, okay, if you can see here the Kuala Lumpur, you can see here we call it Penang. If you go a little bit up, you can see Perak and Penang, right?
Okay, so is it right here? These?
No. You need to bring the map down and see the upper side.
The other side. Tiamam.
No, not the other side. Sorry, the upper. Okay, Tumen is one very famous island, the one which you show here, the Tumen Island. Yes, it's very known and very famous.
Ooh, that looks pretty.
The most known, if you go a little bit up. Yeah, also up. If you also more. Okay, this is Penang Island, is very known also.
Nice.
And the other island, if you go a little bit up also in the area of Kedah, Langkawi. This is Langkawi Island, is also one of the very known islands here.
Oh, look at there's a picture of you right there.
Yeah, maybe. It's very those. So I told you, like the nights here, you can find very nice islands if you like the beaches and the enjoyment of that. If you are into going to mountains, so mountains are also there. Like in if we go from Kuala Lumpur to a state called Bahang, it's almost 45 minutes driving.
Yeah.
We can go to what we call it Genting Highland.
Okay.
So this is also, and the nice thing is you're gonna to feel the change in weather directly. Like you will be in KL, the temperature almost like 30 Celsius. So when you go to Genting Highland, it's almost 15. Was only 40 minutes driving. If you like to see like more greeny things, so you may go to Cameron Highland. It's almost like few hours driving. You're gonna see the tea plantation, and you will be surrounded with the green everywhere. You know, the green things around you.
Okay.
So those, it depends. So this is type of entertainment. If you are into go to gaming, those like the theme park and so on. So also in Genting Highland, they build very nice theme park.
Yeah.
If you like to go to bars, pubs, dance, it's also available. So whatever you are looking for entertainment, all is available.
Yeah. So Rana, what do you do for fun there?
Okay, for me, it's almost go to have nice food with friends. This is my fun actually. Go to eat chocolate because I love chocolate a lot.
Chocolate,
and
nice.
going to islands. So normally we plan once a month. We travel to one of the islands, spend 2 days. Because it's almost affordable, like if you make it once a month, so consider it okay. It's not gonna to add cost to the person.
Yeah.
So we make it almost once a month to go there and hanging in the shopping malls, walking in very famous street here. We call it Bukit Bintang. It's very famous among people here.
What is it called?
So we go Bukit Bintang.
Oh, how do you spell that?
Okay, it's B-U. B-U-K-I-T.
I-T.
Then B-I-N-T-A-N-G. Yeah, Bintang.
Bintang. Okay. Bukit,
yeah, this is very famous street here, and actually it's nearby like very famous shopping mall. We call it Pavilion. So that road is very nice because you're gonna find a lot of those people who bring the snakes to play with them. Those who are wearing like dresses and they stand to take photo with them. Some live band, you can see they are standing in the street and they are like singing. And also in the end of it, there is very famous food street. We call it Jalan Alor. So there you can try all type of fruits and local food. So this is kind of enjoyment, especially in Friday night and Saturday night.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And do you find your experience living in KL that it's a very international city? Is it and is it diverse? Is there a lot of diversity there?
Yeah, when we talk about diversity, actually, yes, KL and maybe entire Malaysia is very diverse because let's say talk about the Malaysians themselves. They are diverse because you can see here the three races here: the Malaysian one, the Malay, the Indian, and the Chinese.
Okay.
So if you want to try any of these things, it's available. Like actually last month, my friend came from Germany and he enjoyed his stay here for almost a week. He said, okay, now I don't need to go to India or China. I already see everything here because those three races are here. So you can try everything. So this is by them. You can see all religions here, the Buddhism, the Islam, the Christianity, everything. You can go to like very known temples here. You can go to very known churches and mosques. The food is diverse because you can find the local food, you can find the international one. And like for me, as coming from Syria, so Syrian restaurants available everywhere. So you can, and here also, this is a part of the local. When you talk about international, so you can find a lot of nationalities. The European people here, they come and enjoy their stay because most of them, they think about the difference in the exchange rate. Like here, let's say $1 is almost it's four Malaysian ringgit.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
if they earn money here and they convert, or they bring their USD dollar here and they convert, so for them it's considered okay. So you're gonna find a lot of European people here that like to stay in Malaysia. Like if you are working in a company, you're gonna find a lot of different nationalities, faces, different experience wherever you go. So it's really widely diverse.
Yeah, yeah. And I bet the food is fantastic there, just based on the combination of people. I love, yeah.
Yes, yeah. You can't find everything. You will not get to miss any type of food. You just name it, you will find it. That's it.
Yeah. Is it like just a mixture, or is there like a typical Malay dish or Malaysian dish that's known?
Yes, here it's called nasi lemak.
Oh, nasi lemak. How do you spell
nasi
that?
Nasi, it's Nasi, and it's the Malaysian name for rice.
Okay.
Then lemak, it's Lemak. So nasi lemak is one of the famous dishes here. Also the nasi goreng, which is fried rice. So those are like as a Malay typical food. Okay?
Yeah. What is nasi lemak? What is that?
Actually kind of rice. They put with it some like fish sauce and piece of like boiled egg, and they cover it with the banana leaf. Ooh. So you will see it kind of covered, like pyramid. You will see it as a pyramid, the shape, So when you open it, you can eat it. This is a very famous dish here. As I told you, also the nasi goreng, which is fried rice. So they fry the rice with some anchovies and other type of like some sauces. So those are typical ones. And then I told you, like, you're gonna find also the Indian food, because the Indian restaurants available everywhere, and the Chinese food, plus all international dishes.
You're making me hungry. I always get hungry when we get to this part of the podcast.
In Malaysia, food is the most important thing. Like here, wherever you go at 1 o'clock, because here the lunch hour is either 12 to 1 or 1 to 2 based on the companies. So this time, if you go to any office, you're not going to find anyone, because everyone respect the lunch hour too much. And you'll find everyone in the restaurants. So restaurants always crowded in the lunch hour, and after work, you'll find all the families in restaurants either having like drinks or eating or whatever. So food here, it's kind of enjoyment. Yeah,
that's nice. How much would a meal cost at a typical restaurant in Malaysia?
Okay. Again, I'm going to tell you here based on where you go, because you can find this local meal in almost $1 if you bought it from a kiosk in the street. Yes. And by the way, the taste is not going to be different, because they cook this meal same way wherever you take it. Yeah. Whether in this restaurant or you go to a restaurant in like a real restaurant, okay, or you took it from a kiosk in the street. So you can take, because here people, as they eat many meals, so they eat small portion. So you can get this meal almost like $1 or 1.5. If you want to go to, okay, more you go to more fancy restaurant, more you need to pay.
Sure.
But for me, let's say if you go to here's a local restaurant, we call it Mamak, Mamak.
Okay.
So those mamaks, you can find all the typical food, either the Malay one or the Indian one. And there you can like take a good meal with a good portion with almost, let's say, less than $5.
Okay. Wow. So good.
Yeah, it's so good. And normally these
You are
also
living it. You are living my dream.
yeah, it's a heaven, you know. It's a heaven. You cannot find, and actually it's very known. And here also they have very famous drink called tetarek, which is
Teta what?
tetarek, which is T-E-H space Tarek, T-A-R-I-K, tetarek.
T-A-R-E-K, you said?
T-A-R-I-K, Tarek.
I-K. Okay.
Yeah.
Testerek.
So
Testerek.
tetarek, which is T-H, which is tea. This is one come as a tea and milk. Normally come in sweet taste, and the way they pour it, it will be with bubbles, you know. So
Okay.
this is a very famous drink here, but people normally they drink with the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds great. So, and another question I wanted to ask you, when you go to the islands and hang out for a couple days, you said often, try to get there every month. What does it cost to rent a hotel on one of the islands?
Actually, for me, my experience, I don't go to hotels. I go to Airbnb.
Okay.
Normally, we use Airbnb to rent a flat because we go as a group of friends. So we prefer to be together instead of like hotel rooms will be separate and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So like we normally use Airbnb. Like last, during like last month, we call it Raya Haji, Eidul Adha for Muslim people. So we were celebrating. We went to Penang Island, the one I was showing to you in the map.
Yep.
So we rented a flat for 2 nights. It was 3 bedrooms using the Airbnb. It cost us $170
for 3 nights.
For 2 nights.
For 2 nights.
And there was an awesome sea view. I may share with you some photos. So this is it's kind of affordable. If you want to talk about hotels, so you can find like cheap hotels if you are only interested to sleep at night in the hotel.
Sure.
Or you may go to resorts. It depends on your budget. You can start from $20 rise to $1,000. So it depends on your price.
Depends on, okay.
Yeah, that's what we like here in Malaysia, that your budget gonna to lead you to your choice. You are not always, okay, I want to go to this area, but I don't have budget. Even if you have budget of $10, you still can find a place to stay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the climate year around there like? Always, it's tropical, right?
Yes, that's right. We don't have winter, it's all summertime. The weather here divided to 2 types, either rainy day or non-rainy day. So almost the weather between 24 to 30 plus the Celsius, the temperature. It's okay. Once you arrive to Malaysia, you will find it's very humid.
Yeah.
You can't breathe. This is the first day or the first few minutes you arrive, but after that, when you just go out, you will feel okay. It's just like first few minutes when you enter, you'll need time to come out of the airplane and the things. Then you will be okay.
Yeah.
And the good things here, like you can see us in the offices, we are wearing like long sleeves because aircon is on like 16 Celsius always.
Yeah.
And outside we are short sleeves because it's very hot. So everywhere, like everything is there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So that's pretty much all I have. Is there anything that you want to share about Malaysia that we haven't covered, or?
Actually, on general, I can say Malaysia is a good place to stay, and most of people who arrive here, like example me, when I arrived here, I was planning only for a few months to stay, manage my PhD, then go back and maybe contact with my supervisor online. But this country, once you reach here, you will fall in love with it. And even if you plan for a year, it will come 10 years. And is out of anyone's control, and is experience of most of people here.
Wow.
The second things here, people here are so kind. Whenever they see foreigner, they'll try to help. They try to be very kind with them, and they will be so happy if you try their food, because they will feel that you are trying the things which they love actually.
Yeah.
The other things about Malaysia is very safe country. Because here they apply the law very strong, and people, as I mentioned, so kind, so you will not feel insecure even if you are coming back late night.
Yeah.
Security level is very high, and roads are all lighted very well, so you will feel it's a safe place.
Wow. Well, it sounds like an amazing place. And I love that what you just shared about, like, people that go there, they will typically stay in their mind, I'm going to stay for just a short period of time, and they end up staying for long periods of time. And I'm sure you're one of them, but you also have met other people that are like that.
Because a majority of my friends here, most of us, we arrived here, plan was only a few months. Then we wanted to go somewhere else, or maybe a year or 2 years. And now around me, most of them more than 10 years.
Yeah. That's terrific. And seeing that makes it really a special place, I think, because there's something there when people get there that say, oh, I really love this place and I want to stay here longer.
Because here the life moving very smooth, almost. Even in your workplace, there is some due lines you need to follow, but
Sure.
still people, they don't pressure you.
Yeah.
Here, the style of life, there is no pressure. Things didn't happen today can happen tomorrow. Because the local people or the Malaysian people themselves, they don't like to be pressured. Okay, so they make some of the entire country like this. So here you feel comfortable. I know that, yes, I have deadlines, I have things to follow, but I'm not feeling that I'm pressured of the things. Like your landlord, if you are renting a unit, he's not going to pressure you. Okay, you have to pay the first day of the month or something like this. They always can understand the situation of anyone. They try to, as I mentioned, they are so supportive, very kind. You see the smile in their face, especially if you join them in their life, like you sit with them to eat with them, you try to learn their language, so they will feel like, oh, okay, this person is part of us.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, Rana Altounjy, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast and sharing your experience and all these tips and ideas about living in Malaysia. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me this chance to be here, and I hope that information I give is beneficial for people who are listening.
Oh, it definitely is. It really definitely is, and we covered so much. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And just share whatever photos you want to share. We can put them at the end. If there's any links you want to share to promote anything, we can add that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Rana, and you have a great rest of the day. I'm going to go to bed here soon.
Okay, so good night for you. I'm going to start on the day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.